In addition to being a legendary actor and director, Rob Reiner's life came to a tragic and sudden end in 2025. In this deep dive from the royal time of Hollywood, we explore the life, legacy, and the unthinkable tragedy that claimed the lives of this iconic artist and his wife. The tragic night at Brentwood. On December 13, 2025, the world lost a storyteller who spent decades exploring the human condition. Filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, attended a Christmas party hosted by Conan O'Brien. It was meant to be a night of holiday cheer, but witnesses noticed a dark cloud over the couple. A loud, visible argument broke out between Rob and his son, Nick Reiner. The confrontation was alarming enough that guests described Nick as freaking everyone out. Attempting to manage the crisis privately, Rob and Michelle left the party early with their son. Later that night, Rob spoke with Eric Idle about the upcoming Spinal Tap 2, showing no signs of distress to his colleagues. However, privately, Rob had recently confessed a chilling reality to close friends. He was afraid of his son. Sometime in the early hours of December 14th, that fear became a reality. Rob and Michelle were killed inside their Brentwood home. Their daughter, Romy, discovered them unresponsive the following afternoon. There were no signs of forced entry. The perpetrator was someone who already had a key. The investigation and forensic truth. As the Los Angeles Police Department secured the scene, the timeline began to point toward one person. While the neighborhood remained silent, forensic analysis suggested the couple died before dawn. The cause of death was multiple sharp force injuries, sustained close-range violence that suggested intent rather than a single impulsive strike. The trail led directly to Nick Reiner. Authorities discovered that Nick had checked into the Pierside Hotel at 4 a.m. on the night of the killings. Though he appeared calm to staff, investigators later found blood inside his room. By 9:15 p.m. on December 14th, Nick was arrested near Exposition Park. He did not resist, ending a manhunt that had spanned the city. Forensics provided the clinical evidence needed for the district attorney to file the most serious charges possible. Nick Reiner was formally charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances. A shocking court appearance. On December 17, 2025, Nick made his first court appearance. The setting was grim. Cameras were barred, and Nick entered wearing a harm prevention smock. He remained largely silent, only speaking to confirm he understood his rights. What stunned the royal time of Hollywood was the man standing beside him. High-stakes defense attorney Alan Jackson. Known for representing figures like Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, Jackson's presence signaled a long, expensive legal battle ahead. Speculation immediately arose regarding how a man with no steady income could afford $1 million defense. Many questioned if the Reiner family estate was inadvertently funding the defense of the man accused of destroying it. While estate law is complex, the irony was lost on no one. The awful truth, a lifetime of disconnection. The most disturbing element of this case isn't just the crime, but the awful truth. Nick once confessed about his relationship with his father. Nick revealed that he never bonded with Rob. While Rob was a successful, engaged parent to his other children, Nick felt like a permanent outsider. This sense of isolation fueled a downward spiral that began at age 15. Nick's life became a cycle of severe addiction, high-risk substance abuse that led to multiple rehab stints, instability, periods of homelessness across Maine, New Jersey, and Texas, failed reconciliations, despite Rob and Michelle funding treatments and even collaborating with Nick on the 2015 film Being Charlie, the stability never lasted. The film Being Charlie was meant to be a bridge, a way for Rob to understand Nick's pain through art. For a moment it worked, but the relapse that followed was more volatile than the ones before. By the night of the Christmas party, the family was exhausted. The argument wasn't an isolated incident. It was the final explosion of decades of resentment and disappointment. A family fractured and a Hollywood in mourning. In the wake of the tragedy, Rob and Michelle's other children, Romy and Jake, issued a heart-wrenching statement. They chose to ignore the legal spectacle, focusing instead on the loss of the emotional center of their lives. A private memorial was held, attended by Hollywood elite who remembered Rob not for his awards, but for his steadiness and character. Tributes poured in from stars like Kathy Bates, Kate Hudson, and Eric Idle. They spoke of a man who created safe spaces on set, a director who trusted his actors and redefined genres with classics like The Princess Bride, Stand By Me, and When Harry Met Sally. The contrast is devastating. A man who taught the world about the enduring strength of friendship and true love met his end in a scene of violence involving his own blood. The legal road ahead. As 2026 begins, the legal process is just getting started. Nick Reiner faces the possibility of life in prison without parole or the death penalty. Prosecutors point to the sustained nature of the attack and Nick's calculated movements after the fact as proof of premeditation. The royal time of Hollywood will continue to follow this case as it moves toward the January 7th arraignment. The industry has lost a titan, a family has been shattered, and a son stands accused of the unthinkable. What do you think? Did the years of addiction and disconnection lead to an inevitable tragedy, or is there more to the story of that night in Brentwood? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found this deep dive informative, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notifications so